Welcome to Build Strong Habits podcast channel. This is an audio podcast, so take your eyes off the screen, sit back, relax, and listen.
Hey everyone, ready for another deep dive. Today we're going deep into the life of Tulisa Contostavlos.
She's had such a fascinating journey.
She really has, like from chart-topping success with N-Dubz
Yeah.
to navigating the crazy world of reality TV and everything in between.
That's what's so interesting about Tulisa, right? She embodies this whole generation of artists who grew up with social media, with everyone watching.
Totally. So let's start at the beginning, shall we?
Mhm.
I mean, N-Dubz, they weren't just any pop group.
No, they weren't.
They were a force. They won a MOBO.
A MOBO. And not just any MOBO. They won Best Newcomer back in 2007.
Wow.
Which, think about it, that was a huge deal.
I bet.
It really was, like a cultural shift, It was like finally Black British music was getting recognized.
Yeah, put him on the map for sure.
For sure.
And then comes this crazy jump, right?
Yeah.
She becomes a judge on the X Factor.
Oh, yeah, in 2011.
Talk about a spotlight, huh?
Yeah, talk about pressure. Can you imagine? I mean, she was only 23.
23
Sharing the panel with Gary Barlow.
giants. Total music giants.
It's hard to even imagine that pressure, Going from being in a band with your friends to suddenly being judged by millions of viewers.
On your own.
Yeah. I mean, talk about a trial by fire. And she was so young.
I know. And then she ends up mentoring the winning group, Little Mix,
Oh, yeah.
guiding them to that level of success. That takes a lot. It's not just about the music.
No, it's about understanding the whole industry, the good and the bad,
All the pitfalls.
Exactly.
Do you think she saw herself in those girls at all? I mean, navigating those same pressures.
It's a really good question, And then right in the middle of all of that, the sex tape gets leaked.
Oh, man, that was awful.
It really was such a stark reminder of how fame can be a double-edged sword.
Well, totally.
All of a sudden, your privacy is just gone, especially in this digital age where everything is online.
And the online shaming that followed? It was brutal.
It was. It was really before we as a society even understood how bad cyberbullying could be, how much it could hurt.
And it really brought up all these important issues, right? Consent,
Yeah, for sure.
how women are judged so much more harshly than men for the same things.
It's a double standard we see all the time, right?
All the time. And then just a year later, she's dealing with a whole other public trial, being accused of setting up a drug deal.
By an undercover journalist, no less.
It completely derailed her career.
It did. She was fighting legal battles, dealing with anxiety, the whole thing.
It's crazy to think how that one story from that journalist could have such a huge impact.
It really makes you think about journalistic ethics, doesn't it?
It does.
Was it a real investigation or was she targeted,
Right. Like, did they see her as an easy target, someone they could exploit?
Yeah, for headlines.
And it wasn't just a news blip. This sent her into retreat.
She had to reevaluate everything.
I can't even imagine.
And it was during that time that she started writing her book.
Oh, really?
Yeah, pouring all of her experiences into words.
So it wasn't just a typical celebrity tell-all.
No, it was deeper than that. It was her way of reclaiming her own story after years of having other people define her.
Wow, what a powerful way to fight back.
It really was.
And then, just when you think things are calming down, N-Dubz announces a reunion tour.
In 2022.
Sold out arenas.
Yeah, they proved that their music still resonates with people.
Yeah, totally. Was it a comeback, a strategic move?
Maybe, but I also think it was about something more.
Like what?
Well, think about it. Going back to N-Dubz could have been about finding comfort in what she knew,
Yeah.
A reminder of who she was before the craziness of fame.
Like her roots.
Exactly.
And this was all happening while she was dealing with some serious health issues.
Oh, yeah, the Bell's palsy diagnosis.
It can cause facial paralysis, right?
Yeah.
And she's been open about dealing with chronic pain, too.
It's often overlooked, We see the polished image, the celebrity.
Right.
But underneath it all, she's dealing with this invisible illness that affects her every single day, her ability to even perform.
It's true. We often forget that celebrities are real people dealing with real stuff.
And it makes you think about how much we're all expected to hide, to pretend we're okay even when we're not.
To be normal all the time.
Exactly. It's a powerful reminder that everyone is fighting a battle we might not even know about.
That's a good point. So true.
It is. And despite all of this, she's still on, I'm a celebrity, get me out of here.
In 2024, I know.
Like she was ready to face her fears head on.
Maybe it wasn't about reviving her career, but more about showing her true self.
Letting people see the real Tulisa. The person behind the persona.
It feels like she's reached a point where she's defining success on her own terms,
Yeah,
choosing experiences that challenge her and help her grow.
absolutely. She's in control.
She gets to decide how and when she shows herself to the world.
Exactly. She's taken back control of her story, and that's a powerful thing.
It really is. So what can we learn from all of this? What does Tulisa's journey teach us about fame, about resilience, about defining success when the world's trying to define it for you?
Those are some big questions, aren't they?
They are, but we've got plenty of time to unpack them, so let's dig in a little deeper.
Sounds good to me. And it's really interesting. Her saying she wants to leave the entertainment industry by 40.
It's a bold statement for sure.
It is, especially for women. There's this huge pressure to stay relevant.
And look young forever.
Exactly. So, is this about taking back her life, her energy? Is she rejecting the industry's expectations, choosing a different path?
Maybe it's about realizing that success doesn't have to look a certain way,
Maybe for Tulisa, success is about peace.
about putting her well-being first.
Right, above the demands of show business.
Because even though she's talking about stepping back, she's still connecting with the public, but in a way that feels real, authentic.
Yeah.
Like being on, I'm a celebrity.
It wasn't about getting famous again.
Right. It felt more like a personal challenge,
She used that platform to show a side of herself we hadn't seen before.
to connect with people on a human level,
Exactly, reminding us that celebrities are people too.
with real lives and real problems,
And they're doing it all with this constant pressure of everyone watching their every move.
which can't be easy.
No, not at all, especially when you're dealing with something like Bell's palsy.
Imagine that, having a part of your body, your face,
Your expression.
become unpredictable, and the cameras are always on you.
It takes a lot of strength to handle that.
It really does.
It makes us rethink what strength really means, doesn't it?
Yeah. How so?
Well, we often think of strength as being tough, hiding your emotions.
Pushing through the pain,
But real strength can also be vulnerability.
being open about your struggles.
Exactly, refusing to let them define you.
It's like a reminder that we're all carrying something, whether we show it or not.
And that shared human experience, that vulnerability.
It connects us,
Yeah, it allows us to understand each other better,
especially in a world that can feel so isolating.
especially for people in the spotlight.
So where does this leave Tulisa? She said she wants to leave the industry, but she's still engaging with it on her terms.
Right.
Can you have both? Can you redefine your relationship with fame? Find that balance between public and private life, between being creative and taking care of yourself.
It's a struggle many artists face, How do you stay true to yourself in an industry that often values image over everything else?
That's a tough balancing act.
It is, and there's no easy answer. Everyone has to find their own way.
Your own path.
But what's inspiring about Tulisa is that she's choosing her own path.
She's not letting the industry control her story or tell her what she's worth.
She's taking back her power, her voice, and defining what success means for her.
And that's a powerful message for everyone, right? Not just
It
celebrities.
is. It's about understanding that we all have the right to decide what success looks like for us.
To prioritize our own well-being
All values.
and be our true selves.
It's realizing that our worth doesn't come from what other people think,
Not from awards or achievements.
It comes from finding that inner peace, knowing you're living a life that feels right for you.
And sometimes that means being brave enough to walk away from what's not working anymore.
To make space for something new, something better.
Something that truly reflects who you are and who you want to be.
Tulisa's story is still being written, It'll be interesting to see where she goes from here.
It will, but one thing's for sure. She's not afraid to break the rules and defy expectations.
And she's inspiring us all to live more authentic lives.
That's a pretty amazing legacy to leave.
It is. It reminds us that our stories are never really finished.
We always have the power to choose what happens next.
Exactly. And on that note,
We've reached the end of our deep dive into the life and times of Tulisa Contostavlos,
we hope you've enjoyed exploring her journey with us.
and that it's given you some things to think about,
Maybe even some inspiration to find your own path.
and the courage to live a life that feels true to you.
Thanks for joining us.
And until next time, keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep diving deep.
Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this podcast, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Build Strong Habits.